Okay, in this example, what we're going to do is we're going to add some data to the Model Creator program, which will then later help us to check the amount of tax revenue and the number of taxpayers under one of our 4 existing taxes. So I'm going to search down to the PhilHealth block. So everything inside Start Tax, PhilHealth, to the keyword End Tax, that's going to be things that relate to PhilHealth. And so here, under this little comment, revenue is shown below in thousands of pesos. I'm going to put a keyword, target data, and then I want revenue equals, and then the amount of tax revenue in pesos. So this is just the amount of revenue shown in thousands, so it's 9,542,042 and 6,000 pesos. And the next thing is a reference note, so source equals, and then in brackets, Philippine Health Insurance Corporation 2007 Annual Report. I'll put that in quotes. And then page 20. And this is just the revenue from individuals. It doesn't include the employer's part of the tax. And the number of payers, plural, is 8,610,000. And again, we're going to put in a source equals, and again, it's Philippine Health Insurance Corporation 2009, not the same document, and it's actually something they had on their website, stats and charts, first semester 09, slide 5. And in fact, if you look up here at the comments, it shows the website address of this particular document. Sorry, that's the website address of the annual report itself. And up here are some calculations. So what we do with this data is it's actually going to be compiled as part of the end user model. So the end user can actually go to a table which will compare the amount of revenue that is raised in the model's projections using calculations based on individuals and then multiplying them up to the national population. And it's going to compare these tax revenue and taxpayer figures to give us an idea of how accurate the model is. So I'm now going to, I would normally compile this. I'd normally go up to the top of the model. Whenever I have a change, I go up to the top of the model and I click this translate button, but that takes some time. So for this movie, I'll just exit. And here I am in the end user version of the model, and here's the information screen. And in order to compare my modeled amounts with the administrative data, I picked this option, compare modeled and administrative data. That implies that we get the tax revenues and the number of taxpayers from some administrative source. And now it's running through my 189,000 people in the population, and it should produce that table for me probably in about 10 seconds. Let's see. Okay, there we go. There are a lot of zeros because I don't have any new policies in this table. And the 4 lines of this that we're interested in are these lines here. And I should say that the tax compliance formulas, the formulas that govern if somebody pays the tax when they should, which deal with the probability of tax evasion, have been adjusted to produce roughly balanced figures for the modeled amount of tax and the amount of tax that is actually collected. So these numbers are very close. However, the balance between the modeled taxpayers and the actual taxpayers is not so accurate. So here we've got the model shows 9.8 million, nearly 9.9 million Pag-ibig payers. And the reason at the moment it's not possible to get a formula which produces accurate forecasts of both the number of taxpayers and the tax revenues is, in my view, because the procedure for multiplying up the population, the survey to the national population, doesn't adequately represent the number of people in higher income groups. So if you produce something which gives you an exact count of taxpayers, then the tax revenue is unduly low. So I'm waiting for the BIR to release data on the number of taxpayers in each income band. That's the number of taxpayers who pay the different rates of income tax. And that should help to make all of these numbers more accurate. According to the Bill of Rights in the Philippine Constitution of 1987, research data is to be afforded to the public for policy development. So as of now, the data request was acknowledged in January 2010, and here in July 2010, there has been no result. There has been no attempt to comply with that aspect of the Constitution. But this is the formula, this is the process you would use in the citizen model to do the main macro tax benefit checking. And at the micro level, we've used a double programming approach, that another programmer using income data, the same income data, on a case-by-case basis was asked to reproduce income tax, PhilHealth contributions, and SSS contributions. And we worked on that over several months until the case-by-case data was matched using the two different computer programs. Okay, that's a reasonable illustration for now of how you would use this feature.